Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. Okay, I had in mind to wait with the Optimus robot in my little series of Tesla Beyond Cars, where I go through all the many startup companies within Tesla and its potential value creation for Tesla. But Tesla kinda just dropped a huge bombshell yesterday out of the blue, showing off the Optimus Robot Gen 2. And oh boy, the progress Tesla has made here is just mind-boggling. So I thought I would do the Tesla bot part of my little series about Tesla Beyond Cars, so we can get a look at Tesla's newest generation of the robot and talk about the potential of this robot that might be coming sooner than most people think, because this robot will probably create more value than everything else Tesla is developing. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. So, Tesla showed off their first prototype of the Optimus robot at AI Day 2 in September 2022, just a year ago. That was only a year after AI Day 1, where they said they would try to build a robot, but had nothing to show us. And after Tesla established a robotics team, they built the first prototype with off-the-shelf components within months and called it Bumblebee, and also showed the first gen robot they were working on at that event, but it couldn't walk yet. But then in March 2023 at Investor Day, they showed that now the first gen could do a lot more than just walk. And in September, Tesla teased a video about how much better Optimus has gotten, with great looking hands, and it was able to do some great moves and sort colored blocks and much more. And now, only a couple of months later, we get to see Tesla's Gen 2 of the robot, built with Tesla's in-house made components. And man, this robot is good looking. Just look at the difference between the first gen and the second gen. Amazing job from Tesla creating this robot. And now its head can also look up and down with 2 degrees of freedom, and the bot got brand new hands with touch sensors and 11 degrees of freedom. And just look at it handling this egg, shifting hands very elegantly. So the first thing to really notice here is the pace of progress. It is just beyond anything else out there. 2 years ago, they had nothing. But the second thing about this robot that makes it stand out among any other robots out there is, of course, its brain. Because Tesla's Optimus is not being programmed. It learns. As Julian, a senior engineer at Tesla Bot, also wrote on X back in September, super excited to share our team's progress over the last few months. We can now accomplish long horizon tasks such as sorting blocks fully autonomously in completely task-agnostic way. So, meaning the system is flexible and adaptable. It can handle a variety of tasks and programming and problems without needing explicit instruction and programming for each specific task. But he continued, just collecting more data and we can train a new complex task without changing any code. This is really what people need to understand. This Tesla bot is learning and doing tasks without any code or programming that is telling it what to do. It is 100% neural network in and controls out, just like Tesla's full self-driving beta software controlling the cars. As Ashok also said, this end-to-end neural network approach will result in the safest, the most competent, the most comfortable, and the most efficient, and overall the best self-driving system ever produced. It's going going to be very hard to beat it with anything else. Yes, this vision approach with a neural network is just the only way of going at it. And the same thing goes from the robot, vision and a neural network brain. So while Boston Dynamics Atlas robots looks very impressive, but remember, everything it does has been programmed. So for it to learn new stuff, the engineers have to write some new code. So you can't really say that it's actually learning anything, as it does not learn, it just does what it's programmed to do. Optimus learns just like you and I, by being shown how to do it and then try to replicate that. And that is why it's so important it is a human-like shape. As Jim Fan, an NVIDIA senior AI scientist, also wrote on X back in September about how Tesla might be doing all of this, but he was also very impressed with Tesla's progress, as he wrote, so it knows the consequence of its actions. That gives the self-correcting ability shown in the demo, where one of the blue blocks landed on its side and the robot paused for a second and then corrected its own action and got the blue block to sit correctly on the tray. Yes, that was very impressive. But he ends off by writing, lastly, I'm generously impressed by the hardware quality. The motions are fluid and the aesthetic are amazing as well. Now, just look at how much better it is here only a couple of months later. Just so impressive. And he continued, as I mentioned above, it's such a great decision to follow human mythology closely, so there is no gap in imitating humans. Atlas from Boston Dynamics only has gripper-style hands. In the long run, Optimus biodexterity 5-finger hands will prove far superior in daily tasks. And the new hands on the robot is just looking amazing, as Elon also wrote on X. So much engineering has gone into the hands. In a year, it will be able to thread a needle. Yes, the hands, combined with the brain, of course, is just the most important thing on the robot, so it can actually do some useful stuff and help out us humans. So yes, I don't really care what Wall Street analysts think about the robot, but when a senior AI scientist at NVIDIA think what Tesla is doing is very impressive and some amazing work and will be far superior, I do pay attention, as they know what they're talking about. So Tesla's robot is slowly starting to get some recognition in the AI and robotics industry. And we once again just have to remember, 2 years ago Tesla had nothing. Today they have a robot that in some areas even are superior to other robot manufacturers that have been making robots for 30 years. Some people are sleeping on the Tesla robot, and that will probably be the biggest mistake of them all when it comes to Tesla, as the demand for a humanoid robot is pretty much endless. But all of these praises I just mentioned here was from September, and here in December Tesla has just came out with a new generation of the robot that is much better and so refined. Just look at the great mesh that is down the neck. It really looks so well done and refined. It really looks like a product that is ready for real production. Tesla has even slapped the Tesla logo on its chest. You don't really bother with that on a prototype. This is something you do on a product when it's ready for final production. So it seems to me like they are getting really close to the finished product, if this is not it, because just like Tesla's version 12 full self-driving AI, the basics are basically there in terms of hardware and software. The only thing left is just to teach it everything it needs to learn, and the same goes for the robot. So I think a working humanoid robot that can actually do useful work is much closer than people realize. It's not going to be an AGI robot, an artificial general intelligent robot that can think for itself, but Tesla will probably have something that kind of feels like it does, because Elon Musk also privately owns X and XAI, and they have got Grok, which is already a very capable AI language model. So it does not take much imagination to think that Tesla will get Grok to be some kind of interface between us and the robot, so we can actually talk with it like we talk with Grok or ChatGPT today. So the robot could also know a lot of stuff. We don't have to Google it anymore. We just ask our robot. So that will feel like we have a humanoid AGI robot, but it will still be far from true AGI, but it will be a great working, useful robot. And probably sooner than most people think. Because if they can come up from nothing to this beautiful robot we see today, just imagine where they will be in just another 2 years. Or double that time, 4 years, by the end of 2027, because it doesn't have to be AGI for Tesla to start earning money on a useful robot. In the first many years, Tesla will probably just start by using it themselves, but that will still gain some value for Tesla and become yet another huge advantage over the rest of the car industry, as labor costs suddenly start dropping for Tesla, while everyone else has to raise their salary for their employers. But this series is about understanding the potential value creation of Tesla's other businesses. Not that we have to guess the exact stock price at the exact year, because that will end up being wrong anyway, but just get a rough understanding of the amount of value these businesses will create for Tesla. And when it comes to the Optimus robot, well, Khan Bashir did a great post on X doing the numbers of the robot. And again, this is not trying to be exact, just trying to understand the magnitude of the robot itself. So let's just go with his numbers, because he has already done them and shared them on X. As he wrote, imagine the affordability of leasing or renting a Tesla bot once Tesla achieved large-scale production. Picture this, a Tesla bot could be yours for as little as $40 a day. With a bot working tirelessly for 16 hours a day, the cost breaks down to a mere $2.50 per hour. How much profit could Tesla make per bot? Well, with an annual revenue per bot of $14,400 and 41% net profits, Tesla could see an impressive annual profits of $5,893 per bot per year. Apply a conservative PE multiple of just 30, and the value of each bot to Tesla's shareholders skyrocket to $176,000. This is a long way out, of course, as this is when Tesla has produced 1 billion robots, and some might think this is just unrealistic, but I think it's not unimaginable that a working robot will be a one-to-one with every human on Earth. So why not 1 billion robot, at least, as there are basically no limits to what they can do for us, as Elon also owns SpaceX, so it's suddenly not out of the realm of possibilities that SpaceX could have a fleet of robots working on setting up a moon base, or getting started on the colony on Mars, or mining asteroids. The possibilities are basically endless. So hundreds of millions of working robots, or even billions, is not completely off the table. But Tesla's valuation will be out of this world. And that's also why I made a video 1 or 2 years ago about Tesla becoming CHOAM, the empire of the Dooms universe. Because, as Khan also wrote, in the case of 1 billion robots out there, the potential market value is almost an inconceivable $176 trillion. To put this unconceivably big number into perspective, the whole global GDP last year was $95 trillion. So Tesla's valuation would be double that. But even with only 100 million robots, we are still talking about $17 trillion in valuation, with a stock price around $17,000. So no matter what number we use, a useful humanoid robot, even long before we get to AGI, will be worth a lot. Like I said in the last episode, it doesn't really matter if it is an insane high amount or a stupid high amount, or in this case of the Tesla bot, an inconceivably high amount. The robot will dwarf even Tesla's full self-driving robotaxi fleet that will dwarf Tesla's automotive business. So again, looking at Tesla's future potential and only looking at them as a car company is laughable at best. In 10 or 15 years' time, we're going to look back and laugh when some of the analysts thought it was all about Tesla's deliveries and gross margins on their car business. We will hardly be able to see the car business on a chart of Tesla's valuation or revenue or profit or whatever, take your pick. So for the analyst that is going to ignore the Tesla bot is probably ignoring the biggest opportunity in the history of the human race. Maybe only comparable to the day we generate true artificial general intelligence. But that could very well be one of Elon's companies as well, as that is exactly the mission of XAI. So that was just a little look into the Tesla bot. Another part of the many businesses that are inside Tesla, the car company, and probably one of the biggest opportunities to generate value for Tesla and its shareholder. Trust me, you don't want to be sleeping on this one. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on the next episode in this little series of Tesla Beyond Cars, because we have a lot more businesses to go through. This one was just about the robot that could bring an inconceivably large amount of value to Tesla. As Elon has said, when you can produce a workforce, what even is an economy at that point? And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.